Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss some more synapses from sexual reproduction in angiosperms. Pollination. It is defined as the process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the same flower or stigma of different flower of the same species is called pollination. So the pollination is of two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. And self-pollination is further divided into autogamy and geitonogamy. So autogamy means the pollen grains from anther to stigma. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the same flower is called autogamy. Geitonogamy, transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of another flower of the same plant is called geitonogamy. And second type, that is cross pollination. It is also called as xenogamy or allogamy. So in this the pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma of another flower of the other plant of the same species is called cross pollination. So the pollen grains transferred from one plant to another plant of the same species is called cross pollination. So this cross pollination requires agents. They are classified into abiotic agents as well as biotic agents. Outbreeding devices. It is defined as the mechanism to prevent self-pollination and promote cross-pollination to overcome the problem of inbreeding depression is called outbreeding devices. The main adaptations that favors cross-pollination are as follows: unisexuality, dichogamy, heterostyle, self-sterility, hercogamy are the different types of adaptations to favor cross-pollination to prevent self-pollination. Pollinating agents. There are two main groups of pollinating agents. They are abiotic agents and biotic agents. Abiotic agents. Anemophily, hydrophily. The characteristic feature of anemophilous flowers. The flowers are small and inconspicuous with long and versatile stamens. The stamens are long and hang outside the flower to aid in release of pollen grains. Stigma are large and feathery, exposed outside the flower to trap the pollen grains. The pollen grains are small, smooth, dry and relatively light in weight. Flowers are generally lack nectar. The pollen grains are produced in huge quantity due to high wastage by wind. So anemophilous flowers defined as the flowers which are pollinated by wind. Characteristic features of hydrophilous flowers. Flowers which are pollinated by water. Pollen grain with high specific gravity. Pollen grains are long and ribbon-like. Flowers lack nectar. Types of hydrophily. Hydrophily is of two types. They are hypohydrophily, epihydrophily. Biotic agents. Entomophily, pollination by insects. Ornithophily, pollination by birds. Caropterophily, pollination by bats. Malacophily, pollination by snails. Opiophily, pollination by snakes. Characteristic features of entomophilous flowers. The flowers are generally large. Flowers have bright colored petals to attract insects. Flowers are scented and have more nectar. Pollen grains are large and modified, may have spiny or sticky walls to get to the insects. The stigma of flowers are long, rough and sticky. Characteristic features of ornithophilous flowers. Flowers have large amount of nectar. Corollas are tubular, nothing but petals are tubular or funnel shape to the enable birds to sip the nectar. Strong colors of petals like red, yellow and blue attract birds from a large distance. The characteristic features of Caropterophilous flowers, which are pollinated by bats. Flowers are bloom at night. Flowers are large and dull or pale in color. Flowers have more nectar than ornithophilous flowers. Stamens are prominent and enormous in number. Pollen grains are produced in large quantity. Pollen pistil interaction is defined as all the events from pollen deposition on the stigma until pollen tube enters the ovule are together referred to as pollen pistil interaction. Pollination simply means the transfer of the pollen to the stigma of a flower. It does not guarantee the transfer of the right type, that means compatible type pollen to the stigma. Often the pollen of wrong type, that is incompatible type, can also land or fall on the stigma. Pollen pistil interaction is very essential for the pistil to accept the pollen. Pistil has the ability to recognize right type, that is compatible type of pollen. If the compatible pollen falls on the pistil, it accepts the pollen and promote post fertilization events. If incompatible pollen falls on the pistil, it rejects the pollen and prevents pollen germination or growth of pollen tube. Pollen pistil interaction is due to the chemical components of the pollen interacting with that of the pistil. Pollen germination. The main events that lead to pollen germination are: if stigma is receptive and the pollen landed on it is compatible, then pollen begins to germinate. The intine, innermost layer of pollen grain, along with its contents, emerges out from the germ pore as a short cytoplasmic outgrowth called germ tube and grows in the form of a pollen tube. The pollen tube is directed towards the ovary by chemicals calcium boron inositol sugar complex, and hence is called positively chemotropic and negatively aerotropic. The sucrose solution secreted by epidermal cells of the stigma acts as the stimulus. The pollen tube produce certain enzymes that digest the tissue of the stigma and style and enables the passage of the pollen tube to reach the ovule. Pollen tube enters into one of the synergies through the filiform apparatus. After entering one of the synergies, the pollen tube releases the two male gametes into the cytoplasm of synergy. One of the male gamete fuses with the egg cell nucleus to form diploid zygote. The other male gamete fuses with diploid secondary nucleus to form a triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Pollen tube grows and may enter the ovule by any one of the following routes. Porogamy. The pollen tube enters the ovule through micropyle, then it is called porogamy. Chalazogamy. The pollen tube enters the ovule through chalaza. Mesogamy. The pollen tube enters the ovule through its middle part, that is, either through integuments, example cucurbita, or either through funicle, example Pistacia. So briefly we can see the pollen germination, that is pollen grain. So it during germination it forms the pollen tube. Pollen tube consists tube nucleus, generative nucleus. Tube nucleus is also called as vegetative nucleus. And in most of the 60% of angiosperms, so the pollen grain shed at this two cell stage, tube cell as well as generative cell. And after shed onto the stigma, the generative nucleus undergo mitotic division to form two male gametes. One of the male gamete fuses with the egg cell. It forms the zygote, and zygote further develops into embryo. And the remaining male gamete fuses with diploid secondary nucleus to form triploid endosperm nucleus. It develops as a endosperm. Artificial hybridization is defined as the crossing of different species to combine desirable characters to produce commercially superior varieties is called artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization is achieved by emasculation and bagging. In case of plants producing bisexual flowers, emasculation and bagging techniques are adopted. In case of plants producing unisexual flowers, there is no need of emasculation. Only the female flowers are bagged before the flower mature. Double fertilization. After entering one of the synergies, the two male gametes are released into the cytoplasm of synergy. One of the male gamete fuses with egg nucleus. This is known as syngamy and produces zygote. Other male gamete fuses with diploid secondary nucleus and forms a triploid primary endosperm nucleus. As it involves the fusion of three haploid nuclei, one male gamete, one haploid nuclei, and another two are the secondary nucleus is formed by the two polar nuclei, that is two polar nuclei plus one male gamete nuclei. Three nuclei are fused together, then it is considered as the triple fusion. Since two sets of fertilization, syngamy and triple fusion, occurs in embryo sac, hence it is called double fertilization. Double fertilization is a unique feature in angiosperms. Post-fertilization events. Development of endosperm. Endosperm develop from the triploid primary endosperm nucleus by mitotic divisions. The development of endosperm begins just before the embryo development. The development of embryo could be of following three types: nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm, halobial endosperm. Development of zygote. The zygote develops at the micropylar end of the embryo sac. Most of the zygotes divide only after a certain amount of endosperm is formed. It is an adaptation to make sure that the developing embryo has enough nutrition. The zygote forms an embryo by mitotic divisions. The early stages of embryo development, called embryogeny, are similar in both monocotyledons and dicotyledons. The sequence of events are given below. The zygote divides transversely to form two cells. The cell towards the micropyle is called suspensor cell, and the one farthest away is the embryo cell. The embryo cell divides mitotically and gives rise to a structure called proembryo. The proembryo undergoes a number of divisions in various planes. It goes through various stages like globular, heart shape, etc., and then develop into a mature embryo. The remaining chain of cells formed by division of suspensor cell is called suspensor, with a basal cell below. The uppermost cell of suspensor is vascular cell, and lowest cell is the hypophysis, which forms radicle and root cap. As the suspensor elongates, it pushes the embryonic cell deeper into the endosperm to get nutrition. A few cells of embryo nearest the suspensor develop into hypocotyle and radicle. Other cells gives rise to epicotyle, pumule, and cotyledons. A mature embryo may have one or two cotyledons. The pumule is present at the apical end and radicle is towards the micropylar end. As the embryo develops, the integument cells become lignified and form a covering called testa or seed coats. Structure of dicot embryo. Dicot embryo consists of an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. Portion of embryonal axis above the level of cotyledons is called epicotyle. Epicotyle has apex called pumule. The portion of embryonal axis below the level of cotyledon is called hypocotyle. Hypocotyle has radicle or root tip, and the root tip is covered by the root cap. Structure of monocot embryo. Monocot embryo consists of an embryonal axis and one cotyledon. The single cotyledon in monocots is known as scutellum. Scutellum is present on one side of the embryonal axis. The portion of embryonal axis above the attachment of scutellum is called epicotyle. Epicotyle has apex called plumule. Plumule surrounded by protective sheath of hollow foliar structure called coleoptile. Portion of embryonal axis below the attachment of scutellum is called hypocotyle. Hypocotyle has radicle and root cap. Root cap enclosed in an undifferentiated sheath called coleorhiza. And in this diagram, there is a part is visible called epiblast. So that epiblast is the reduced second cotyledon in monocots. Formation of seed. A seed can be defined as a mature fertilized ovule that possesses an embryo, stored food material in cotyledons or endosperm, and a protective seed coat. An ovule undergoes a series of changes after fertilization, as a result of which seed is formed. The two integuments develops into the seed coats. Outer seed coat is called testa. Inner seed coat is called tegma or tegmen. The egg cell grows into an embryo. The definitive nucleus gives rise to the endosperm. Micropyle form as a seed pore. Types of seeds. Endospermic seeds, also called albuminous seeds. The endosperm formed in the early stages is not exhausted by the developing embryo. The endosperm supports the growth of embryo during seed germination. Examples: rice, maize, coconut, castor, etc. Non-endospermic seeds, also called ex-albuminous seeds. They do not contain endosperm as it used up by the developing embryo in the early stages. The food is stored in the cotyledons. The cotyledons become thick and fleshy. They provide food to the developing embryo during seed germination. Example: pea, gram, bean, and pulses. In some cases, nucellus remains outside the endosperm in the form of a thin layer called perisperm. Example: pepper and beet. Viability of seeds. There are some seeds which have remained alive for hundreds of years. Example 1. Oldest viable seed is Lupinus arcticus. It was excavated from Arctic tundra. The seed germinated and flowered after an estimated record of 10,000 years of dormancy. Example 2. Recent record of old viable seed is Pionex dactylifera, date palm, was discovered during the archaeological excavated at King Herod's palace near the Dead Sea. It is 2000 years old viable seed. Formation of fruit. Fruit is a matured or ripened ovary. As the ovary matures, the ovule inside it develops into seeds. A fruit consists of two parts. They are pericarp. It developed from ovary wall, and the seeds developed from the ovules. During maturation of the ovary, most of the floral parts wither away, fall away. The wall of the ovary, called pericarp, differentiates into three parts. Epicarp forms the outer skin. Mesocarp forms the edible fleshy region. Endocarp forms the innermost hard region that encloses the seed. True fruits. Fruit develops from ovary is called true fruits. Example, mango, citrus, etc. False fruit. Fruits develops from other than ovary is called false fruit. Example, apple. In apple, thalamus develops as a fruit instead of ovary. Parthenocarpy. The formation of fruits without fertilization is called parthenocarpy. It is of two types. Natural parthenocarpy, when seedless fruits are produced without any special treatment, is called natural parthenocarpy. Example, grapes, banana, etc. Induced parthenocarpy, when seedless fruits are produced by spraying the growth promoting hormones such as indole acetic acid IAA, gibberellic acid GA, etc. Examples, tomato, apple, etc. Apomixis. It is also called as the agamospermy. It is defined as seeds are formed without fertilization are called apomixis. The seeds produced by apomixis are called as the apomictic seeds. Apomixis develop from haploid gametophytes, diploid megaspores, diploid nucellar cells, diploid integument cells. Polyembryony. Occurrence of more than two embryo in the seed is called polyembryony. It was discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek in citrus. Polyembryony may be due to cleavage of proembryo into two or more embryos, and each split part develops into an embryo. Example, Crotalaria. Due to presence of more than one embryo sac or egg. Example, Brassica. Due to more than one pollen tube entering an ovule and fertilizing synerges and antipodal cells. Argemone, ulmus. Due to diploid nucellus or integument cells form the embryos. Example, citrus, Opuntia, mango. True polyembryony. Extra embryos develop from same embryo sac is called true polyembryony. False polyembryony. Extra embryos develop from elsewhere. Example is in Belnophora, an extra embryo develops from endosperm. Thank you. We will discuss objectives of this chapter from the next part onwards.